Hey YouTube, my name is Zeprider. That's the name I go by on the forums that I frequent, and include stormtroopers.com and rebel250.com. Haven't been there in a while though. This is my very first YouTube video log, and we're just going to take a little ride today, get to know each other. Some of my inspirations on YouTube include LJ, Ashfoot, and others. Sorry if I don't mention your name. A fella that does great videos down in Fort Lauderdale, where I used to live. Most people call me Zep, for short. I live in Louisville, Kentucky. If you haven't already noticed, I ride Suzuki V-Strom. For those of you who are sticklers for nomenclature, it is a DL650K9. That makes it a 2009 model. To give you a little background on myself, I've been riding now for about 4 years. I used to ride when I was a kid, but it wasn't a motorcycle. Now, have you ever heard of a Yamaha Arriva 180Z? It was a scooter, automatic. Goofiest damn thing you ever saw. In 2007, I picked up riding again, simply because it was more economical after we hit hard times. And what I picked up, went to the local Honda dealer and picked up a Honda Rebel 250, silver, chrome, really cute bike. Had that for 2 years, and I learned a lot about riding on that. It's actually quite interesting. What made it interesting was that I'm a big boy. I weigh in at about 230, and well, I'm about 6 foot tall. So that kind of makes riding that bike a little uncomfortable. But I did for 2 years. I did my due diligence. I took the MSF class. If you haven't taken that class, you really ought to. Just for the experience of it, at the very least. And what you can get out of it, which I got a lot out of it. Now, I'm still a relatively new rider, but I enjoyed the Rebel. When I bought it, it had 1,000 miles exactly, and it was originally sold to a fella, oddly enough, who I got to meet while I was there. And he knew he was going to outgrow that quickly, so he traded it back in for something bigger. I picked it up, and I quickly outgrew it. I should have known better, but it was a good starting point. After I decided to sell that, I started looking for a new motorcycle. I did my research. Checked everything out, and I wanted something. Well, I didn't want chrome, didn't want a Harley or a Hog. I didn't want a sport bike. I didn't like the leaning over aspect of that. Kind of annoying. I'm gonna have to pass this fella. And so I started checking everything out. I wanted something that was as close to dual sport as possible. This way, if I wanted to do some off-roading, nothing dramatic. I'm more of a road guy. I looked at all the options, and I started to read reviews on the V-Strom, which turned out to be an awesome bike. Now, as I mentioned, I'm still a relatively new rider. I am not by any means a fantastic rider. When I first started, I have to admit I was a bit careless, and well, I gotta tell you that gets painful. The V-Strom here put me over the handlebars one time. I didn't get hurt. It barely got hurt. I broke one of the turn signals, but I've got crash bars on them, so not much damage was done at all. I didn't even get my pride hurt. It was actually kind of funny. I say that because what happened is I was cruising down the road. I was riding with one of the local sport bike riders, invited me to go for a ride with them, and I was keeping up with him pretty good, which was my first mistake. I neglected to ride my own ride. Instead, I tried to ride his. And as a result, we were cruising down this road. Now picture 90-degree bank to the left, exit on the apex. I never made the apex. I came in too damn hot, couldn't burn off the speed. Back tire started to squeal. I didn't realize how useless the rear brake was, especially under heavy braking. And lo and behold, I went right off the road. Luckily for me, it was a, get back on your side please. It was a huge front yard. It was in Indiana, and they have lots of open land there, so it was a large front yard. And even though this is somewhatly of an off-road bike, I don't have a steering damper on here, so what ended up happening is the front wheel hit a rut. The handlebars went full lock left. The bike came to a stop. I kept going. And I remember laying there on my back, 10 feet away from the bike. It's kind of funny. I was looking up at the sky, and I realized that I was having the time of my life. And that's when I knew this was more than a midlife crisis. I'm going to take the highway back home. So the point of my motorcycle video log is going to be to share my riding adventures with you. And the great roads here in Kentucky and Indiana, as well as some tips and tricks as I have to offer to you. Just to get some of the technology out of the way, I run, for my video camera, is a GoPro HD Hero 2. It's mounted as first-person point of view on the front of my helmet. I want to do a video tutorial on that. I know a lot of people have been looking for such a way to mount this camera that's not too obnoxious. I know you could do it off to the side of your helmet, and there are some laws against that, as well as the top of your helmet, which is, you know, these are cool options, just not the ones that I was interested in. I like first-person point of view, so I'll show you how I did that. It actually works out great, and it's cheap to do. You don't have any issues where you have to mount the camera upside down and invert the video or anything like that. I don't know if anybody else has had this experience. It happened when I bought the Honda Rebel, and it happened when I bought the V-Strom. So me and my wife, we go down to Commonwealth Motorcycles in downtown Louisville. Great shop, friendly people. They were very helpful. It was the only place I could find a V-Strom. And so, you know, we go in there, we strike a deal. Yeah, I had to finance it. I'm not rich. That's okay, though. So they intro me to the bike. It's a 2009. It's got 6 miles on it. Literally, 6 miles. Brand new on the showroom floor. I'm pumped. They service the bike, they get it ready, and I'm just about good to go. And the same thing that the Honda dealer did. They put the bike outside, they explained how to start it, they tried to trick me with the kill switch, you know, I didn't fall for that. And then he congratulated me and virtually ran his ass back into the dealership. He wanted no part of watching me right away on this motorcycle. I'm thinking, what the hell is up with, I mean, it was obvious. I mean, you know, what does he care? But, you know, whenever I bought a car, your salesman's standing there, and he sees you off, sometimes with a little wave. Enjoy your car, have a great trip. And no, he did not want to be around. I guess maybe he was spooked because I was coming from a 250 to a 650 class. I didn't have any problem. I got on it, pulled out of the lot there, got onto the road, and I twisted the throttle. Jeez, did I have a shit-eating grin from ear to ear. I could not believe how much power this thing had, you know, in comparison to a 250 class. I was pumped. I thought I was going to take the back streets and side streets all the way home. Hell no, I got right on the highway and opened it up. I was impressed. It's really about all the motorcycle I need. But I'm still learning. I try to ride my own ride, not outrun your headlights at night. And maybe we can learn something together. If you guys have any questions, you want to know about something, feel free to, you know, post it in the comments below. If you just have nasty shit to say, well, that's okay too. One of the things you'll notice is I got a very bad habit pressing this button right here to turn off the turn signals. I didn't notice it until I started videotaping. For those of you that are curious, my real name is Dean. I'm 42 years old. And damn it, this is not a midlife crisis. I'm going to ride until I'm old and gray, and then I'll keep on riding. I appreciate you taking the time to watch my video. I will continue to enjoy the rest of the videos that the YouTube motorcycle community has to offer. And I bid you all a farewell for now.